Alrighty, welcome back everybody to the third week of our algorithmic programming course, a part of a Tech Bytes program happening every single Monday. Thank you guys so much for coming out. Hopefully you guys had a good weekend. Remember this week we have a 3-program week. We got today we got programming. On Wednesday we have our project development, and then on Friday we have our special event, of course, video gaming hour, in which the plan is looking like a conspiracy against Joe. And all these programs, remember, they're going to be happening at 4:30, so we hope to catch you guys on each and one of every of them. But if you are new here today, welcome, and please be sure to message us or speak up so that we can provide you with the Google Classroom code. That's where Alavi and I post our weekly recaps with the links to our old lessons and the code we cover every day. So a bunch of good information there. But other than that, how about we get started? You guys should know who I am by now. I don't think we need to decide anymore. My name is Ryan Guy, Siddiqui, senior at James B. Cohen High School, saying, have it engraved in your mind. Learn, play, code, sleep, and repeat.
Hey guys, my name's Labdi. I see we have a couple of new members today. So just like Rayan, I got a Conan as a senior, and I love algorithms, art, and coding, of course.
Alrighty, and before we do get started, we'll take a quick moment just to make sure that those who are new have access to our Google Classroom.
Yep.
Here is the code. Just like for some of your other classes, if you're in District 54, guys, just go to googleclassroom.com, log in with your Google account, and enter this code, and you'll have access to all of our material.
Yeah, like when I just go to the GC page up in the top right, there's a plus sign, and then I join.
Yep, thanks, Avanish. Exactly. You just got to hit the plus sign, enter the code, and you should be in.
I didn't know Google Classroom was called GC. It's a new acronym.
It's a short way.
Yep, and Labdi put the code in the chat. And just a quick reminder, guys, we do have in the classwork tab, we got a bunch of information here from last year's stuff, our programs we had about JavaScript and Python. Remember, our algorithmic programming and project development courses on Monday and Wednesday are Python-based. So if you ever want to go back and learn something which we covered in the past, we got a bunch of videos and some lessons you can find on Google Classroom as well. And then for algorithmic programming and our project development, you can also find the Zoom link and our weekly recaps there as well. All right, so hopefully you are getting the code entered in. Meanwhile, we'll get started.
Does anybody here use Opera GX?
No. Okay, so we are all Safari or Chrome users here, I think.
Yeah.
Chrome.
It's actually quite good, especially if you have like a slower laptop or PC.
Good to know. All right, so how about we get started off today with our agenda?
All right. So just like any regular algorithmic programming day, we're going to start out with a problem, a word problem, and then we're going to go through it, try to solve it with just logic on a whiteboard. We're going to write out our steps, and then finally we're going to code it in Replit in the language of Python. And throughout this process, we're going to review old terms and answer any questions you guys have. We got a question from Akshita on the Google Classroom, says that I don't have the right account.
Akshita, how about you try this link? This should be a direct access link to join. Let me know if that works.
Meanwhile, Ryan, if you just want to screen share, the next slide is actually about the Google Classroom.
Oh, yeah. So here's the code once again if you guys need
it. Yes, Jace. In fact, it is very quiet. We're just waiting up for all of us to get caught up in the Google Classroom, and then we will get started. Okay, how about while we wait, anyone remember any terms from last week? Any terms we reviewed? You can just put it in the chat, raise your hand, speak up. Come on, guys. Anything. Okay, pathfinding algorithms. That was part of Hack Central, and
There was something that was called that started with the letter B.
Letter B?
Yeah, like when we're doing the pathfinding algorithm thing based on someone like the green dot, and it's like finding the short least path to the end.
Mhm. I can think of
Boolean, maybe? Somewhere in there?
so the algorithm that we talked about a great ton was Dijkstra's algorithm. Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just gonna type that out in the chat because the spelling is very unique.
Yeah, great, great job thinking of that. Well, how about we talk about some more of the terms we covered last week in algorithmic programming? We talked about 2 or 3 things, if you want to call it specifically. How about anybody remember any of those 3 things? Well, if you do not, that is all right, because we'll be reviewing them today as well and utilizing them today. But remember, we talked about if-else statements, we talked about loops, and all the things they allow us to do. Alrighty, so hopefully we are all good on the Google Classroom, but now transitioning on towards our problem for today. And if you are new, guys, it's going to be the format of our class. We're going to be talking about the problem, and then we're going to get started whiteboarding it and then start actually coding it. And in the middle, if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, feel free to speak up or drop a comment in the chat as well.
Akshita. Oh, okay. Ryan, I think you sent it to panelists only.
Okay, yeah, okay. Thank you. I'll help you about that. Sorry about that, guys. All right, so hopefully that is good. And you guys can see the problem on our board today. That being that we are going to be given 2 lists of numbers. And our goal is to create a
So we can do like so first list will be like A, the second list will be B, and then the like the first list will also contain either the odd or even.
Yes, great job, Anish. You should be leading class. Exactly, 100% right. We're gonna have 2 lists, 2 arrays, and our objective is gonna be from one list, we're gonna take all the even numbers, and the second list, we're gonna take all the odd numbers. Once we have that new array, we're gonna take the average of that new list. Now, we spoke about a bunch of new terms, so how about we review them and make sure we all understand what they are.
All right. So number 1, variables. Do we remember what variables are from last time?
They're like the thing which you really don't know yet, but you use it in the situation to express something to the computer. Like you can say X is equal like the first array, so it'll know it's the first array, and then it'll compute it as the letter X.
Nice job, dude. High five. Air high five. But that was great. Yeah, so basically a variable is, just like Avni said, it's used to hold anything. We tell the computer, go hold this in this box, and that box is a variable. And in that box, we can have the computer hold numbers, strings. Strings are just like a bunch of characters, so like hello, hi, words. And even arrays are...
Mark.
Yeah, there we go. And then the second part of variables, or a type of variable, is an array. And array is just a list of variables. So for example, last time, as Rayan reminded us, we used arrays of numbers. So a list of numbers from 1 through 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, so on and so forth. And now arrays you can store integers or strings in arrays. And today we'll be using both integers and arrays.
Yep, and as a quick reminder, I know we had a couple people already jump in the boat. They are well ahead. Talking about what are variables and arrays. Remember, basically, if you want to create a variable called word, we can set it equal to anything we want. Like Laudio was talking about a string, which is a word. We can set it equal to the word hello. And now the variable is called word, and it is holding the string hello. So that's a quick, easy thing to know. And also we should know about arrays. So say we have a number array, which we're going to be utilizing like today. And this array is a way for us to hold multiple variables in one concise place. So we can keep a bunch of things in one area, which is super helpful. So we can have the numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all in one array. And now you can think of it like a list, but essentially this number array variable is holding an array, which is super helpful to us when we start tackling tougher problems. Alrighty, so that was a review from last week's terms, guys. As always, if you have a question, feel free to speak up because these are new terms and we are progressing quickly. But let's talk about today's new term, that being something called mod. Now,
mod kind of sounds like mobs from Minecraft.
Well, it's a bit different, in a sense. If you could, I guess you could make a comparison, but essentially actually there's a comparison actually.
Yes, it could be a way to remember the meaning of the actual mod in computer programming. You're related to some video game.
Well, if you're playing survival mode on Minecraft, right, your goal is to be the last one standing, the remainder, right? Well, yeah. Similarly, in mod, you're looking for the remainder. Get it? So you got to look for the remainder and be the last one surviving. Yeah, so Chase asking about, is this similar to module? So module and mod are a bit different. A module is something like we can use in the programming language of Python. We talked about how at the top of our programs, we can write import. We can import math. Last week, Labby was talking about we could import math and then do random or import random, and then we can do random.range. So those are modules, aka libraries, which we can import, which help us simplify our code and do a bunch of the work.
How do you exactly use module? Do you just type the word mod after a number, and then after the word mod you put another number, and then it gives you the quotient?
Yeah, so we're gonna be talking about this more today, but essentially to write a mod, you just add the % sign. And it's as simple as that. And the main goal of using this mod is to find the remainder of a division operation. So example right here we have is, say we're doing 10 mod 7. Well, how many times does 7 fully go into 10? Well, how many times, do you guys know? How many times?
Yeah, I thought they do division, not subtraction. Cause it says finds the remainder of a division. Oh, it only finds the remainder?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Oh.
So 10 mod 7 would be 3 because 7 goes fully into 10 once, and 1. So if it only goes into once, then there's going to be a remainder of 3. How about Labby? Do you want to do some quick speed round of Modulus?
Yeah, definitely. Let's do some math, guys. I will share my whiteboard. Oh, in fact, I'll just share my iPad's whiteboard. That would be even better. All right, let's do a fast round of modules. You guys ready?
Yes. So to, if you know the answer, guys, speak up, and we'll see who's picking up on this fast.
All right. Let's see.
I'm not ready. Not really ever for math.
Oh no, this is the simplest math you'll ever do. Believe me. Yeah. Okay, so we'll do one together. And then let's go on from there. Oh yeah, actually, we'll do one together. And then after that, whoever gets the whoever gets the answer, just shout it out. And then, yeah. So for example, if we have 10 mod 5. If we divide 10 by 5.
0.5.
That is not true.
Wait, isn't it 0?
Uh-huh. There you go. We got a winner. And Avnish, can you explain why?
So before, when you did 10% or mod 7, I noticed that you just divided and tried to find the remainder. And in that case, the remainder was 3. So then I did here. And then since 5 goes 2 times to the 10, it doesn't really need any more remainder. So it's 0. So it'll be 10 plus 0 equals the 10. So the result will be 0 as a remainder.
Perfect. That's it. So basically, if one more thing to add in, if the mod is 0, then you know that this value right over here is divisible, or other way, this value is divisible by this value. then and only then our answer for the mod will be 0. So let's do. Oh yeah, Chase, that's a great thought. So we use percentage sign for mod, but it's not a percent. Think of this like an operation. So this part is an operation. Just call it mod. So it's 10 mod 5 equals 0. 2 mod 1 equals 0. So let's do another one. Let's do 31 mod 8 equals, shout it out.
7.
There we go.
Avanish on a hot streak. Yes, sir. Yep.
Okay, Avanish got 2 out of 2. Let's see. Okay, how about this? If Avanish gets 3 out of 3, Avanish is done. Okay? Let's do one more. Let's see. Actually, no, many more. 11 mod 6.
6.
0. I mean 5.
6.
Yeah, 5. Let's explain
Oh.
this. It can be quite confusing.
I'm doing it backwards. I was trying to do 11 into 6.
Yeah, no, you're good. So basically, if you divide 11 over 6, it's just 1 and 5/6. So this is the remainder, right? In other ways, you can just say 11 divided by 6 is equal to 1 remainder 5. This is the mod. Okay, yeah, Vanish, you're done. Woohoo. just done for like 2 minutes. We'll do 2 more. How about that? Let's do a bigger number. Let's say 201 mod 30. I'll have to think about this too.
21.
Dang,
Wow.
wow.
Hey.
What mind math? Okay, yeah, that's right. And how do you do that? So you see,
I just find like the thing that multiplies to 30, but it has to be under 201.
perfect. Did everyone hear that? That's a great way to try to figure out mods. So if you, what was the number you did? You multiplied 30 by, Avanish?
6.
There we go. So 6 times 30 is 180. And if you subtract 180 from 201, so 201 minus 180, that is just equal to 21. And okay, wait a second. 21, there we go.
Give me in the thousands.
Oh, okay. Last one, okay? Let's do.
Yeah, I'll just back out of this class. I'm not anywhere near that. I'll just
Where are you going, Chase? Come back.
something.
Yeah, it is something.
Maybe Avanish is just holding a calculator next to him.
Well, 1793. Alavi, can you stop sharing for a second?
Yep.
1793. Mod
see.
40.
How do you do this? Okay.
Well, totally not cheating by using Python,
Oh
right?
my God. No, you didn't.
Well, guys, you could, and it's super simple. Something which probably your scientific calculator can't do is do a mod, right? Well, in Python, pull up our website, Replit, and you could just plug it in. So 1793, and we had a question about what symbol is. The symbol is the percent symbol, so it should be like shift number 5, mod 47, and it looks like it's the remainder is 7.
What's my next
I
guess?
just literally got to the second he said that.
Oh, my. Sorry, Avanish. Avanish did it right, guys.
You
But it's-
cheated.
Oh my.
That was my next guess.
Oh, of course, Chase. Of course, I knew that. Yep.
Hey guys, but don't you think coding just makes life so much easier? You guys would have had to done that in your mind.
Yeah.
And 2 lines in Python and you just have the answer. It's like calculator, but you can do so much more.
I was somewhere in the set.
Wait,
I was somewhere in the tens.
Are we less than 10 people?
We have
Yeah.
yes.
Are you
Wait,
thinking
then we can.
Among Us?
No, I was saying since we have less than 10 people right now, we can also like make like a Replit team. Because there's like this thing called teams on Replit, and it's up to 10 people for free.
That's a good idea. And we could if you guys do have people you want to work with, we could definitely start doing a breakout rooms in the future. As the problems get tougher, we're gonna spend more time dissecting them. So a good idea, definitely. Yeah, we can look into that, Joe, too, if we can start converting these to meetings in the future.
Next time we're doing map, though, not cheating with Python like Rayon did.
Hey, nobody knows about that now. All right, but hey, the main purpose is sure I got the answer and Alvanish had it at the same time, but it goes to show you that what we're doing is so relatable. We can really type it in and do it. So it's
If I had coded that, I would have told you in like 7 seconds.
Alrighty, well, how about we apply all of that mod knowledge now to our problem for the day? And that being, how about we know what the problem is, right? We got two lists. We're going to take evens from one, odds from one, combine it into one large array, and then take the average of that. Now, we know that we got to create the arrays, extract the numbers, append them, and then take the average. Now, who can quickly explain to class what is the meaning of an average? What does that mean? If we have like 5 numbers.
Like the resulting amount of like 2 numbers when you add them, and then after that divide them to find like the average number between both of them.
Exactly. So
what about for multiple numbers, like more than 2?
Simply do
Wait, I think I heard Akshita say something.
Yeah, I was gonna say that you add all the numbers together, I think, and then you divide it. Then you divide by the numbers there are.
Yeah.
Wait, I have a question. Can you find a mod from the average? Like, what if you add X, Y, and Z, and then after you add X, Y, and Z, you divide that by 3 because there's like 3 numbers, but then you get a remainder at the resulting. So that'll be like the mod.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Yeah. So as a quick exercise, just to make sure we all on the same page of what an average is, let's take the average of these 5 numbers and then speak out, and then we'll see who got it right. So we'll do 56. 43, 22, 103, and 42. So take the average of these 5 numbers, and if you have the answer, just wait a minute, and then we'll wait till 5, and then we'll share them out.
Hold up, are calculators allowed?
Actually, yeah, go ahead and use the calculator for this. Yeah.
The mod is 2. The mod is 2.
All right, Alvanish already jumping a step ahead. Nice.
All right, I have them all added up.
All right, and remember that when we're taking an average, we take the sum of all of our numbers and then divide by the number of sums. So in this case, we would do 56 plus 43 plus 22 plus 103 plus 42 divided by 5 because there are 5 numbers. Yep, that's what we're doing. All right, guys, it's 5 p.m. Feel free to share. What we got?
52.8. Or
no, you
with a remainder of 4.
Around, it's 58.2.
No, it's 54 with a remainder because it's 264 divided by 5.
No, it's 266.
Yeah, that's the sum of the numbers, right?
Yeah, but she said it's 264, right?
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah, I got 266 as well.
Yep.
I got 266.
Make sure in case you enter the right numbers.
The average is 53.2.
Exactly. Great. So
yeah.
My calculator died, otherwise known as my brain.
So a fancy way, guys, a notation for like writing the average is like doing the variable and then adding a symbol on top of it, which means the average, and the average of this data set we just concluded is 53.2. So this is going to be the last.
Remember every one of these functions and loops like at the same time, because if you just put like a bug or there's like this silly syntax you can't just notice, like how?
It's like me asking, how do you know how to spell and A-N-D? You just know it. You use it every day in everything you do. Once you're like into coding, you use it like a language. So like if I ask you, how do you know how to spell, let's see, Zoom with like code and everything, it's part of our everyday lives. And don't worry if you don't know right now. The more you practice those loops, the more you code, whatever you code, conditionals, the more practice you get, the better you'll get.
Exactly. It's all about practice, guys. You know, practice. They don't say the saying "practice makes perfect" for nothing. But remember, that practice has to be good practice. You can't just be doing sloppy practice. So
Yes.
that is hopefully what you are taking away from our courses. And it is time for practicing. Yep. So Avanish, we had a request for doing this like we do last time, a shared doc. I feel like that people like that better. So the link to our Replit will be in the chat. Click on the link, guys, and you can follow along. So as we are getting loaded in, people are joining the Replit. I'm just going to write down our steps once again. So we know for our first step, we have to extract the evens, even numbers from one array and the odd numbers.
Hold up, do we want to do a whiteboard?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'll do that too. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Quick 5 to 7 minutes.
Editing on the page. I can't see you editing on the page.
Oh, did I drop it into the analyst? Oh, no.
You did it. You did. I got in it. No, you.
Like in the
dropped
Replit.
it in-
Like in the Replit page, I can't see you editing.
Yeah, when he has to get off of that line, and then it'll load it all up. I think.
Oh, wait. Sorry, guys. Use this link.
Wait, how do you see like what which shared like repos
Use
you've
this.
worked on?
That link. That one. The one I just posted.
Yeah, because like it doesn't show you like your old like shared repos that you've worked on.
Oh, I can see it now.
Great. All right, guys. So now let's do a quick visualization and let's get to it.
All right. So I thought that notability would work, but turns out we'll just use a whiteboard. So I have our 2 arrays. Remember, array A, array B, just like Avani said. And what we want to do, first step, just going to change my color. First step is we're going to find the odd numbers from array 1, right? Find the odds from array 1 or array A. Step number 2, we find, find evens from array B. And then final step, just gonna scrunch that down here, is we're going to, once we have an array, so I'm just gonna declare an array C that has nothing, we're going to append all of the odds from array A and evens from array B. So it should look something like this. Suppose array A is 1, 2, 3, B is 4, 5, 6. Then how about anyone know what array C will be?
Are you like for array C, are you gonna combine the even and odds?
Yeah. So the odds from array A and then the evens from array B, combine them, that's array C. So what will C contain?
C will be like 4, 6, 1, and 3.
Perfect. So 1, 3, 4, and 6.
Does it matter like what you put the numbers in?
The order?
Yeah, the order.
So the order doesn't matter in this case because we aren't sorting it. We're not finding like the greatest integer or the least integer.
Huh?
But
Tech Bytes.
if we if we're trying to find like a greatest or lowest integer, then the array, the order matters. But in this case, we just want to add them up no matter what order they're in, because the last step that we have over here is to find the average of it. And to do that, we'll have to go through each number, add all of these numbers, and then finally divide by the length.
What do you mean by
C
the
dot length. So the length of C is how many numbers are in the array. So how many numbers are in the array, C?
4.
4, perfect. So it's basically how we find the average. So once we add 1 plus 3 plus 4 plus 6, we're going to divide that by what?
4.
Perfect, yeah. And that's how we get the average.
In the array, I think you're missing 5.
I believe
No,
I'm
that's
not.
for only like we can't do 5. Because for only array B, you can only do even. 5 is an
Yep.
even.
Yeah, so if we remember what our problem was asking, we want the odds of A and the evens of B. The odds of A are 1, 3, and then the evens of B are 4 and 6. So there we have it. C is right here.
Yeah, I just saw that. I realized why and everything.
Yeah, no problem. You're good. So here's our plan, and let's try to do all 3 steps in Python. And I will stop sharing.
Alrighty, so let's get this party started. We got the steps laid out, guys, in our replit. Hopefully you guys are all there by now. The link is in the chat, but let's get started. So first things first, I'm just going to create a function. All right, if you guys want to, how about I'll let you guys make the function. Let's make a function called find evens and odds. I know you could call it whatever you like. Okay, actually, let's do that first. Yeah, if you guys like, we can make some arrays. So give me one moment. You guys can tell me the numbers. So we'll say, give me one moment. Yeah, all right. So we'll say array 1. What number should we put in this array?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
All righty. And for our second array.
7,
Wait, can I
3,
type the
6,
array
5,
B?
9.
Go ahead, yeah, type it in.
Wow, I'm so happy. We're all coding together.
And guys, if you want to get more of this coding typing by yourself, I'd definitely recommend opening up a replit as well to follow along. That way, we can all stay organized. There we go. Thank you. Was that
Me.
Avnish, yeah.
great? All right. So now we have our 2 arrays. Now we'll say that we're gonna take we'll call array 1 the list we're gonna get all the evens from. So who can write all the evens right there for me? Next to the colon, and then we'll say our
Odds from array 1 and then evens from array 2.
Yep, and then who can write me the odds numbers from the second array?
Is it 9 odd also?
Yep. Is it divisible by 2?
No.
That's why it's odd.
I just forgot.
I know, you're good.
All good. All right, so now we already know the answers, right? So now we've got to transform it into some code. And we know that at the end of the day, our final array is going to have the values 2, 4, 7, and 9. So let's try to do it. So first thing I'm going to do is just make a function. We'll call it find evens and odds, like such. Add the colon, enter, make sure indentations are good. So now, firstly, our goal is going to be in
your code on your screen on Zoom. I can't directly see it on the replit. It's like taking some very long time to load.
There's probably internet lag.
Yes, there's probably a delay going on. If you want to maybe have our Zoom call go on an iPad or like a phone device and write the code on your laptop, that could be faster if you'd like.
Maybe I should just put my Ethernet.
All right, you can do that too. All right, so firstly, our goal is going to be, we already have the arrays, but what I'm going to do is make a third array, call it array 3, and I'm going to leave this array completely blank. This array at the bottom is going to hold the combined results. So it's going to hold the number 2, 4, 7, and 9. But let's make that happen first. So what I'm going to do is, what do we think is the best way for us to go over this whole array and find out if the numbers are even or odd? Let's start with the first thing. How do we go over the whole array? Does anybody remember what we can do to iterate over it?
Like you can divide like a length.
So we can definitely use that when we're finding the average. What about when we're trying to go over every element instead of writing out a lot of code? Remember there was a term we discussed today which can make our lives easier?
Mod?
Yeah, Akshita, definitely. Mod, we're going to be utilizing in the second step. What about when we're trying to go over the full array, like a quick way? what type of, it starts with an F.
Integers. Integers.
Integers are the values, so like the 1, 2.
What do we use when we want to repeat a certain number of times?
Loop.
Yep, Chase, exactly.
Wait, you said you started with the F or a L.
For loop, yep.
Oh.
Yep. So today, that's what we're going to be utilizing. And we're going to use 2 for loops, 1 for each array. So firstly, I'm going to start off by adding all of the odd numbers into my new array called array 3. So I'm going to do 4. And now remember, in Python, we can do something cool. So we can say for a number in array 1, add a colon like such. So if I were to just go ahead and print out every number in array 1, we're going to see 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 being printed out. Now, before I do, we're not going to see anything print out because we haven't called this function. So what I'm going to do is do find even and odds, call that below. When I'm adding this line of code, this makes sure that this piece of code is going to run. So I'll hit the run button now, and we see, give it a quick moment. Okay, I'm just going to refresh real cool. Oh, there we go. All right. We see 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 being printed out. And those are all the numbers from our first array. Now, our responsibility in this loop is to find odds and add them to the new array, right? So how can we use this idea of mod to find an odd number? So, we were just talking about Labi saying 9. We know that 9 divided by 2, that's going to have a remainder of 1, right? And the reason we know 9 is an odd number is because when we divide it by 2, there's a remainder. So what do we think? What are we going to use in today's lesson?
Use mods a lot.
Yep, exactly. So what I'm going to do is say if the number we are currently looking at, mod 2, the remainder equals 1.
Is there going to be like a faster way? Are you going to do like number mod 2, number mod like for every single other number?
Nope. So remember, when we're using a for loop, this makes our life super easy. It's going to do it for all the numbers. So we just have to write this if statement once.
Wait, why'd you put double equal again?
Remember, so when we're comparing something to a certain value, we always do 2 equal signs. When we're declaring a variable, you always use 1 equal sign.
Okay.
Yep. And a different way, if you want to do this, is if to find out if, say, I'm not just talking about the number 2. Say I'm talking about number 5, 6, 7, 560, right? If I want to find out if 560 perfectly goes into the number we're looking at, I can just do if the remainder is not 0. That means that it's perfectly divisible, right? So this is actually, we'll see that for today. So we know that if the number we're dividing by, the remainder does not equal 0, that means that there is a remainder, meaning the number is odd. And if the number is odd, we're going to add it to our array 3. So I'm going to do array 3 dot append, which is a fancy way of saying add whatever I'm about to add. So dot append the number. And now what I'm going to do is print out our new array called array 3 and make sure that all of our odd values are inside there. Hit run. It's taking longer than usual today for some reason.
Maybe it's because of the snow. Just kidding.
It is snowing outside, yep.
Where's the cricket when it's quiet?
They say it's gonna be like 9 inches of
I don't even
9
see
inches of
a
snow.
snowflake in my area.
Yeah, they say that it's gonna be 9 inches of snow, and like the weather channel is showing that it's gonna be snowing until like 6 tomorrow. So
You know Miss Gretchen? Like she in her house, she already said it started snowing. And like in my house, it's just like nothing.
Well, it's looking like quite the snowfall's about to come. So stay safe and stay indoors, guys. And do some Python coding. Look at our old videos if you want. We got hopefully you're having fun with this. But we take a look, guys. We see that all of the odd numbers from our first array are there. So I guess if we flip-flopped it a bit, we'll call this one the odds, and this one the evens. And now we got to repeat the same process for our second array. So what I'm going to do. What's up, Avanish?
So you just did it for odd, now you're gonna do it for even.
Yep. So now we can just copy and paste that so we know what we're doing. So we're going to find the evens and add them to the new array. Now, does anybody have a guess? What are we going to change? Because I can literally copy and paste that code, but there's something I got to change. Firstly, I'm looking at the second array. I want all the evens, but what am I going to change on this line? Does anybody have an idea?
So we use that like line for odd. So maybe you just divide it by 2. Oh, so you take the exclamation mark away?
Yep. And we're just making sure, Avanish, why are we looking at if the remainder is 0? What does that tell us about the number?
That means there's no remainder, there's no mod. Knew it.
Avanish crushing, great job. So if we have 9 mod 2, that's obviously an odd number because there's a remainder of 1. But if we have something like, say, 8 mod 2, that gets us a remainder of 0 because 2 perfectly goes into the number 8. And there we got the last line of code. We're appending that even number to our array. And now, if I print out our final
Hey, can the
product.
computer, since you put like the same number variable thingy for even and odd, will the computer manage to do both like different functions or like methods? Because you use the same number word for the even and the odd. Will it like differentiate between it?
Avanish, that's a great question. And the thing in programming is that this number variable is only available inside of this for loop. I can't just go outside of the function or outside of the for loop and start using it elsewhere. So it's unique to wherever it is. Like Avanish highlighted. Yep.
Oh, okay. Cause like I thought you did like number for the odds, and then like maybe for the even, like right now you do number and then something else to differentiate between it.
Yeah, definitely. Yep. So that's the thing. If we're using like a global variable like array2, then I can use that everywhere. But if I'm saying just in this for loop, this number variable is only available in these 3 lines of code. So now if we go ahead, and if we go ahead and run, we should see all the odds and then all the evens from our second array, which are 6, 8, and 10. Remember, we changed flip-flop, so it should be 6, 8, and 10. And then from our first array, we should get 1, 3, and 5. And there we go. So we have accomplished step 1 and 2. Now we just got 1 step left, that being computing the average. Now, one thing which we're going to sort of start getting into, guys, as we move more along is creating specific functions that have specific roles. Now, the role of this function is what the name implies. It's to find the evens and odds and add them to the new array. And now what I'm going to do is create a new function called find average. Now, the purpose of this function is going to be just to find the average of our array.
So you're gonna tell the computer to like add all of them?
Exactly. Yep. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to call this function whenever we have found all the evens and odds. So beneath this print statement, I can just add the name of that function and add those 2 parentheses. So the way this code is going to run is it's going to find all the evens and odds, add them to the new array, print out the new array, and then it's going to call this function, which means, so if you do like an arrow, this is going to say, hey, it's your turn. Whatever code is inside of you, that's going to run now. Oh, Akshita, you got to left school. That's a bummer. Did they already come out and say there's going to be school?
Yeah, my teacher said even though there's like there's a snow day or there's like huge snow, we'll still have remote learning.
All right. All right.
Do you
So
guys
now,
still have remote learning?
yeah, Labby and I are both doing e-learning or remote learning from school. Yeah.
Yep.
All righty. So now the final step, we just got to find the average. So what I'm going to do is first of all create a variable called total sum. This is going to be equal to 0, and it's going to hold the sum of all of our numbers before we divide them out. So what I'm going to do is what I'm going to use to quickly go over the whole array. We used it above in the function as well. What term?
Mod.
Remember, Chase, we use mod to
Loop?
Yep. So remember, when I'm talking about going over an array, always think about loops. And if we're talking about finding a remainder, always think about mods. So what I'm going to do now is iterate and go over the whole array. So I'm going to do 4. Again, we can use the same variable, number, in. This time it's going to be array3. And I'm going to do the total sum is equal to the total sum plus the number I'm currently at. This way I can get the sum of all the numbers in my array. So I'll add that too.
So I don't like kind of get it. Like it says total sum plus number. So if you take like the number 1 or I mean 5, and then you do it to the total sum, like how does that find like is it the
I don't
total
understand
sum like in both sides of the equal sign?
So this is essentially saying, hey, whatever the previous number is, add the next number to it. So this is going to do 1 plus 3 plus 5 plus 6 plus 8 plus 10. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so shouldn't it be like number plus number plus number? Then why did you put like total sum plus the number?
Because remember, number is just the current value we're right now at. Remember? It's not representative of everything in the past. So to make sure we take into account all the numbers in the past, we need a different variable.
Oh.
So this way, so if we're doing, if we map it out, it's going to be 0 equals 0 plus 1 for the first one. Then it's going to be 1 equals 1 plus 3, which is 4. And then 4 plus 5, which is 9, and so on. Does that make sense, Avnish?
Yeah.
All right, and guys, if you have a question, feel free to unmute and speak out. And now we got one last step left, that being divide by the length. We got a question?
No, I just saying dividing.
Yep, exactly. Thanks, man. And that's the last step, right? What we're going to do, and we can create a separate variable if we'd like. I'll call it average. And so that equal to the total sum. And what am I going to divide by?
The loop, the length.
Exactly.
Nice.
The length of our third array. And now what I'm going to do is just print out the average.
So the final array is a third array.
Yes.
Okay, got it.
Yep.
Because it makes more sense now.
Awesome. All right. So before I hit the run button and we get the answer, how about we compute it by ourselves? Let's take a minute and find the average of that array, guys, in the top right.
It's like 5.66667. So
All right. I believe it should be 5.5. If I'm not mistaken. Let's see. We'll find out. All right. Is it 5.5 or 5.6777? And it is the array,
yeah.
final array, and the average is 5.5. There we go, guys. And about, excluding the white spaces, like 30 lines of code, we had 2 arrays, found the evens and odds, made a new array, and did some math with Modulus and finding the average as well. So today was a good lesson. We did a bunch of math and coding as well. Any last questions? Comments? Thoughts?
No, you all cleared it up.
Great.
Pythons are very happy that there's a computer language named after them. Yeah, definitely.
And guys, this link will be available in our Google Classroom shortly.
Imagine if you were coding something about a mouse and then the pythons are actually real and then they ate it.
In fact, you code with a mouse every day.
Well, unless you're using a touchpad, but yes.
Oh.
All right, bye. Thank you.
All right, guys. So that is wrapping it up for today. Hopefully, you guys had a good time. We talked about a bunch of terms. As always, guys, check us out on our Google Classroom. We got a bunch of other programs too this Wednesday and Friday. I know Chase will be coming along for this Fridays Among Us. Other than that, guys, have a good week. I'll catch you guys on the next one. See you guys.
All right, bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks, Ryan. Thanks, Labdi. Thanks, everybody, for participating.